very interesting to hear, first of all, probably your experiences, how you are doing in your institutions, how you are combining this environmental sustainability, social responsibility, plus, the achieving of your goals. What do you do in that respect? So let's agree what, first of all, you would make a presentation, and I see Gulnara already put it out on the screen. So probably we would hear Gulnara's presentation first, and then we would give the floor to Professor Audrey, CHIA, and then we can discuss together. So if that's fine, so Gulnara, please, the floor is yours.
Yes. Good day, dear colleagues, friends, dear participants of this conference. It is great to meet you today at the Eduniversal World Convention. This panel raises important issues and questions on sustainable development for the present and foreseeable future. I'm grateful to the organizers, speakers, and participants for discussion opportunities and open the dialogue. We would like to share some ideas how we see sustainability in the context of the ESG and the challenges for the future, and give some example from AlmaU experience. Universities should look at internal and external factors when they define the ESGs, looking the sustainable campus, including the virtual campus, corporate governance, sustainable internal policy, and the social responsibility, the academic excellence. For example, that's to have included in curricula some courses of sustainable developments. Also, some external factors like the lifelong learning concept and civil education, regional and global partnership, impact and engagement. Here. We believe that education, the impact of the responsible management education. Education is the main driver of development of the country. Civic education is a driving force to create impact on societies. Emerging countries, rising societies need responsible management education, and to achieve SDGs, social responsibilities should be the core to education, teaching, and operation. Educating responsible students give us the responsible society to the country. That's also the PRME is unique because it makes impact on the academia, which makes impact on the business, on society. It is the time to make that impact valuable and stronger than ever. The truly worthy mission of the university to be an impactful and meaningful university, informing social responsible style of management for the benefit of the civic society. The AlmaU initiated to launch of the PRME Eurasian chapter, and we welcome you to join to us in that region. Sustainability agenda targets third mission of university and their social impact and engagement. University itself should transform to be able to handle the sustainable agenda. We believe that as the learning and team organization, it becomes possible to bring benefits to the society and university itself. Implementation of the 3 win principles, according to which any mutually beneficial cooperation between the 2 parties, win-win, should benefit also the third part. We believe for the principle of the triple win. The third win is when the output turns out unexpected, meaningful, has a value added, reflects the synergy. Current priorities are highlighted by UNESCO in issued report Reimaging Our Futures Together, a new social contract for education. You know, this report was announced just a week ago. It's quite new. And this quote is help reimaging sustainability and redefining the purpose of the education. The first is education must aim to unite as a round collective endeavors and provide the knowledge, science, innovation needed to shape sustainable futures for all unhurt in social and economic environmental justice. The second is that collectively we can transform education to help build just, equitable, and sustainable futures, drawing on what already exists and building what else is needed. You know, this new contract for education means to find the new way of communication between human and technology, between human and nature, between humans. Also, the sustainability issues in rising economy is different from the developed economies. We find it out that the pointed this several points: nurturing of sustainable mindset on individual, corporate, country level, regional level, knowledge transfer, for example, that's transferred the best practice and experience in sustainable issues, sustainable policy making on the corporate level and industry level, or also in the country level, sustainable activity, how the university should respond to these issues by becoming the changed agents and focusing on the academic facilities and infrastructure, research and development, lifelong learning concept, and a curriculum concept. For instance, in this year, we launched the new course for MBA called the Corporate Sustainability and Organizational Behavior. What we observe and experience today is a new reality called the bunny. Today's pandemic has put us in COVID, which stands for complex, opaque, volatile, unstable, and disruptive conditions. We will achieve our sustainable goals by dealing with the new reality, keeping open mind, reflecting on changes, being flexible to adaptive, and very important, the key factors of succeed this process. I mentioned it. What we see in our students, employees, generally consumers on the market, is that they are different than before. The more than one half year they are staying in isolation, communicated digitally, yet pay attention to the global issues. How we can spark their interest? We should offer interactive, individualized content and work on enhancing soft and hard skills that will increase social adaptiveness and find ways in living in post-COVID world. This is also the important for the achieving the SDGs goals. If we will share our experience, we are positioning of our university as a meaningful, impactful university. And I want to tell some how Almayu is dealing with the new reality and helps achieving sustainable goals. We are running service learning program for all bachelor students and having over the 50,000 of volunteer work over the past 6 years. We've been the first university in Kazakhstan which included as a mandatory course service learning for the bachelor students. We promote design thinking, innovation, and startup culture on campus, as well as stand for academic integrity. We are the promotes academic integrity via the co-founded League of Academic Integrity in Kazakhstan and its own contest for the integrity in research. Also, we are pioneer in the as an entrepreneurial university in Kazakhstan. Responsible management in action. Our project focused on various spheres, from education to ecology to youth development. For example, we run an international project to educate Afghan women so that they become empowered in their aspiration to make positive change in their country. We are running this program almost 2 years and expecting in this year, the 50 women hope the UNDP, which are implementing this program, will find the way to pick up all of these women from Afghan to Kazakhstan. We are still expecting in January or the next January. We support high schools in remote regions of Kazakhstan to educate them for the benefit of the high school system of Kazakhstan. We have educated more than 360 rural teachers since 2008. We run environmental campaign to save the largest lake in Kazakhstan. It's called Balkhash. The Balkhash, we're really proud of this project because we are the first university which are mentioning the problem of the Balkhash lake. In Kazakhstan, we almost lose the one of the biggest lake, Aral. The Balkhash can be the second lake, and for us, it's very important to provide such a project. international projects. We also run consulting and educational projects for university and schools in Kazakhstan, in Uzbekistan. One of the areas of the interest is for us, it's a creative industry, as we believe that creativity and a necessary skill for the new reality. The Center for the Creative Industry, it's quite new for us. It was just launched, but we are very active in that area. We are representing this is in project on the national level. Also, I can mention the second very interesting project which we delivered in Uzbekistan. We educated 33 seniors and middle-level managers of the University of Geological Science of the Republic of Kazakhstan, and help them to develop the strategy. Platform for open dialogue. Almayu is a platform for the open dialogue for academia, business, government, and society. We run multiple events every month, foster this open dialogue and make this positive impact in the country, in the region, and all of these activities we are doing because we really believe the university should be the platform for the dialogue between different group of societies. I want to quote Alice in Wonderland that completely reflects current issues and changes and the change agenda. Here we must run as fast we can. Just stay in the place, and if you wish to go anywhere, you must run twice as fast as that. We believe that to achieve these goals, we should do as much as fast we can, also as we can do it. And also that it's from me. Hope next time we will have the opportunity to see all of you in the Kazakhstan or offline, any country of Eduniversal associations, and ready to answer to your question.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gulnara KURENKEYEVA. So I would suggest that your very interesting presentation definitely created a lot of questions, and we would be able, to come back to the questions after the presentation of Professor Audrey CHIA, and then, we would be able, to discuss and ask for both of you. So okay. Thank you very much for a moment, and dear Audrey, could you take place on the stage and present your make your presentation, and then we could discuss, together.
Okay, thank you. My presentation is not up yet, and they're supposed to put it up.
Yes, excuse me, just a second. Just a second.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello, Audrey.
Hi, I'm in my office at NUS Business School. Right. So
now your presentation is here.
Yes, let me turn around and face you now. Sorry, I can't see my avatar. Has it gone to the front? Sorry, I can't see it actually.
Oh, he's still seated for the moment.
Okay. Oh, okay, right.
Now it's
the front.
Yes, yeah. Now you're
all right.
Great.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me here to at Universal for having someone from National University of Singapore. I'm very excited to be with you here. And I'd like to share the presentation with you, on NUS and also on, what we've been doing with regard to education in sustainability and environment. All right, sorry, I'm not able to see.
Audrey, I think you have to share your webcam, please, and your presentation is on the central screen.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, I've already shared my webcam.
Yes. Then
Okay.
you have to right-click on the central screen.
Okay, let me turn around and yeah. All right, sorry about that. So I want to start by showing you this. This is the Singapore Botanic Gardens, which is our only UNESCO World Heritage Site. And it's a great place to visit if ever you're in Singapore. Has lots of biodiversity and of course, nice views like this. So I'd like to begin also by showing you our NUS campus. So I work in the business school at the National University of Singapore, which is a comprehensive university. So here's some quick information on the university itself. It's a comprehensive university in the sense that we have many different disciplines and fields represented here, from medicine to engineering to design and environment, music, and so on. And you can also see from the numbers that we are not a small university, even though Singapore is a small island. And we are more than 100 years old as a university. But the business school itself started in 1965. We have 125 full-time faculty, and this is the building that I'm in now. You can see the building on the top right. We have a very global group of students. They typically come from all continents, all over, and we have a variety of academic programs ranging from the undergraduate to PhD, and also customized executive education. And lots of exchange programs. So I've just included a picture of our students at University of Texas at Austin. We also have lots of exchange partners. So I've just highlighted a few of them on this slide. So let me share our approach to social and environmental education in the business school. We had quite a discussion and quite a debate among our own curriculum review faculty. And this was for different levels, both at the bachelor's level and the master's level. And the final decision we made was that all the modules taught in our business school must have content on ethical and social responsibility. So that is required in every single module proposal that's put out, right? So that students would get to see ethical, social, and environmental issues in every single class that they take. And they would also be able to see the interlink, the relationship between each of their subjects, whether it's supply chain management, organizational behavior, strategy, and so on. They'd be able to see how ethics and social issues can interact with any one of their business disciplines. Besides that, we also have special modules. These are electives. So I've listed two of them here. For example, business with a social conscience, which I conduct. And there's also a module on social entrepreneurship. So besides weaving it into our modules, our other approach has been to highlight it. So we do this in various different ways. One of the ways is to encourage faculty to have thought leadership in this area. So for example, we're encouraged to publish not just in academic journals, but in newspapers, in the general media, and so on, our thoughts on how business can address social and environmental issues. We also have special speakers to our classes. So here's a picture of one of my classes, and the person sitting front and center is Mr. Toilet. So we have Jack Sim, who is our social entrepreneur from Singapore, who had the UN declare November 19th World Toilet Day, right? And so I have him come to my classes to talk about his experiences as a social entrepreneur and how he managed to convince so many people to make toilets, which is usually a taboo topic, a priority. Besides this, we also have many student activities and clubs. So for example, we have an MBA Social Impact Club that routinely champions these topics. We also have an energy club, but the energy club has turned its focus now to green energy. Right, so you can see that it's happening from various different angles and different kinds of experiences in the business school. And every January, our business school will have a charity run for all our alumni, students, and faculty. And we will raise funds for charities of our choice. So it could be, for example, for different years, we have different causes. Sometimes it's for example, people who are elderly. Sometimes it is for students from disadvantaged families, and so on. So besides highlighting it, we believe that it has to be part of our research, our specializations, that is, part of our outreach, and also part of our hands-on learning. So the NUS Business School is a member of the United Nations Global Compact Network in Singapore. And in doing so, we have sent a strong signal to our students that this is really important. And that's why as a school, we have committed to the 10 good principles of doing business in the UN Global Compact. And I also sit on the management committee of the UN Global Compact Network, Singapore. So that allows me to bring in my contacts from the network to interact with the students. And it also allows our students to access the opportunities afforded by the members of the UN Global Compact Network. Besides this, our school is also home to a center for governance and sustainability. And I've included the link there in case you'd like to look it up after this conference. So the work done there is mostly applied research. And so for instance, this center actually has an index on governance performance of different companies on the Singapore Stock Exchange every year. And it also looks into things like diversity, for example. And just like at Alma University in Kazakhstan, our students have field service practicums, and they can choose to work with regular business. But more and more, we now see students taking on field service projects that have social or environmental or public health themes. And I have actually publicly announced to the students, I will not supervise any project that is not in any of these categories, right? So I believe it's important that we, as faculty, take a stand. So these projects have actually been very popular. So I've had students, for example, doing projects on the aspirations and wishes of the future elderly. There's been another project looking at the nutritional status of our migrant workers in Singapore and actually developing a new fortified rice product to improve the nutrition of these workers. So I hope that gives you some idea of the kinds of projects our students are involved in. We also believe a lot in cooperation. And Singapore being a big business center, there's no shortage of companies around for us to collaborate with. And so there are certain companies that we collaborate with specifically on sustainability. So on this slide, you see some of my students. They have taken part in a Young SDG Leaders competition that's organized by CDL. CDL is City Developments Limited. It is one of our greenest companies, and it's listed on the Dow Jones Sustainability Index. And every year, CDL and the UN Global Compact organize a competition for students to take part, to share their ideas for sustainable development in various companies. So our students regularly take part and win, I'm happy to say. Yeah. We are also mindful that, the business school actually doesn't have all the answers. We apply a lot of what is learned by our colleagues in biology, in engineering, in design, and so on. So we have a good exchange of ideas with the rest of the faculties and schools around our university. And there is also an inter-school and inter-faculty program that we all collaborate in. So that's the Master of Science in Environmental Management. And again, I've provided the link there. And in this program, the students take modules which are offered by faculty from 9 different faculties and schools across the university. So that gives them a holistic view of environmental issues, sustainable development from many different angles. And I think it makes for a very, not just holistic, but also creative approach to the environment. We are very aware that it's not enough just to keep incorporating environmental and corporate social responsibility into our modules without actually changing our university environment. So in the business school, for example, we have been quite strict on energy conservation. So the air conditioning is automatically switched off after a certain time, for example. And we need to have permission for it to be turned on if we want to work after hours. Our building is LEED certified. And we have also had a policy in all our executive programs that there will be no disposable cups. So everybody has to bring their own water bottle, or we provide one for them. And recycling, of course, is encouraged. So we have recycling bins conveniently around. And the cleaners who come to our offices also sort and recycle the materials. So these are the small, everyday routine things that we do in the business school. And we are supported by the rest of the university. So we are lucky to have a green campus. And our campus is very big on planting trees, even more trees. We have committed to plant another several thousand trees around the campus this year. And our Office of Campus Sustainability, for example, is very active in helping us to appreciate the biodiversity that's in our backyard. So every month, it will send out a species of the month. Here you see our species of the month for October. It is the common tailor bird. So it's really a joy actually to look out of my office because I can actually spot a great variety of birds, from pink-necked pigeons to white-bellied sea eagles, and even bats have been flying outside my office just before this, kingfishers too. All right, so I think the setting is a really important reminder of our environmental responsibility. So it's not to say that, we are perfect. I always feel that there's much more to be done. It's a continuous effort. We should collaborate more. We should have more reminders, and our research certainly needs to be stepped up. So Singapore has committed to zero carbon at COP26. We are also in our year of zero waste, right? So it's very clear on the national agenda. And we are also aware we cannot do it alone, and much remains to be done. So thank you for allowing me to share our experience at NUS Business School, and I look forward to the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Audrey. A great presentation.
Thank you.
Now we are ready to discuss, and may I suggest that Gulnara, if you can go to the central screen and also, to put yourself on that screen, then we would be able to see both of you. Audrey, you can remain on that screen, and Gulnara could be on the second screen, so then we would be able to see both of you.
Okay, thank you.
And provide your questions. And while Gulnara is getting on the screen, I would like to ask question to you, Audrey, because I have questions for both of you. And for participants, I would very much encourage to write down the questions, and we would be able, to give a chance. But I would like to ask you the following thing. You said that you would have a quite hot discussion about the curriculum with the faculty members, which ended up as a decision to really to include in every single module ethical, social responsibility, environment. I can imagine. So how easy it was to make that decision? Because I know what faculty members, they try to protect their areas. And how do you monitor, these things? But they are really not mechanically put it in. But as you said, having the links, and these links would be working. And do you have any kind of a system how you monitor it?
Yes, thank you, Virginijus. Yes, it's a very, really touched on a hot topic. So it took quite a few meetings, and there were actually representatives on the curriculum review committee. Each department had their own representatives, and I was chairing it, good heavens. But I think the good thing was everybody agreed these topics were important, right? So that's a good fundamental agreement. And then what we did was really to then decide whether we wanted to have a special module that everybody would take, right? So it would be a core module that everyone has to take. And we decided that if we did that, it would lead students to just park it to one side. And if they had completed the module, they could say, well, I'm done. I no longer have to think about it anymore. You know what I mean? I finished it this semester and that's it, right? And we said, no, we can't let them get away with it so easily. So we're going to park it in every module. And we actually monitor it. So whenever anyone puts up a new module, or even in our existing modules, in the course description, we ask them to identify where these topics are going to be discussed, right? So that's controlled actually by our internal curriculum review committee. And then it's actually followed up by somebody in our either graduate studies or undergraduate studies office, who then has a scorecard to have people indicate where in the module, either for assessment or content, these things are going to be covered, and how many % of the final grade is linked to these topics. So that's how we do it. So we do it both at the proposal level as well as at in the level of evaluation of the module.
Thank you very much. This is what I really appreciate, because as I've been mentioning in my previous speech, things you not only need to agree on certain strategy, but you need to have a structure how you're really going to implement, monitor, and you perfectly gave a good, very nice example, what you've been really taking care about these things, about monitoring and other stuff. So, dear Audrey, can you please switch off the
I don't know how to do it, because this was done by...
okay. So probably
was put
okay, got it.
The conference organizer. So actually, I don't control.
It's okay now. It's Gulnara is already here. So now you both on the screen. Nice. And now I have a question, while others probably would be putting their own questions. I have a question to Gulnara, because just following what Audrey been saying, she said, for example, what in the campus, which is very green, they have this energy conservation, LEED certified building, recycling, no disposal caps. So it's a very clear steps, what we've been doing. You've been mentioning in your presentation, but you have also sustainable campus. So in your case, what this sustainability of the campus means? what do you have? Something similar like at US or something different?
We have the very similar policy with our partner from Singapore. That of course maybe we are on the beginning of this way, but what was done for in our campus, we've been the first university in Kazakhstan which adopted the whole campus for disabled person, even not just the campus. That's also the academic process was adapted for the disabled person, because inclusivity it's also one of the goals SDGs. How to include these people to the normal life, normal study at university, and we are doing, but maybe really we are on the beginning of. I mentioned it, the sustainable campus as one of the key direction of the developing of university. We are thinking about how to change it.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you know what Audrey did not leave us, because you disappeared from the screen, but
sorry, did I disappear?
Yeah, if you would go on the third screen.
Let me try again.
Audrey is here.
Audrey's here. Maybe
because
No, you are fine. You are fine.
Yes, okay.
So
Okay.
I got a question for both of you now.
Okay.
What was really for me fascinating, what Audrey been saying, but the Singapore is very much supporting that sustainability and environmental responsibility, like you've been mentioning about the zero carbon, etc. So then, when you have the state policy like this, it's more easy, also for the business school, for the university to implement that. So how easy it is in Kazakhstan? Because do you have some kind of general policy, country policy on that sustainability, etc., or it's more pioneering from your university, Gulnara? So how it is in this respect? Because I guess if it's not clearly defined policy from the state,
yes,
it will be more complicated for you, more efforts needed,
yes,
to put this process.
Yes, I agree. In Kazakhstan, we don't have such a specific regulation in the country. Of course, we are discussing a lot about it. For example, just yesterday, I was a moderator of the conference SDGs goals in the Kazakhstan, but all of this activity we are doing just because the university or some the rest organization in Kazakhstan, ecology organizations, they believe we need it, and because we are doing it's our beliefs.
Yes, yeah, thank you very much. Okay, maybe, some public questions could come. I'm looking to the question side. You both, you made a brilliant presentations, very interesting information from both sides, and Audrey been focusing more on the your own university and your activities inside, and providing a lot of the information, structural information, how you are doing that. Gulnara's presentation also been talking a lot about the external things, like these Afghan people, etc. So you do a lot of external. So both of them, they are really complementing each other. So it's a very interesting thing. And the question is for both of you, how your students taking that? Because sometimes students they try and they're coming with very pragmatic purposes, and they would like just to be a good business people, and how easily and how they're getting adapted to this different value setup, you know, but you need to be also a responsible business. Or as you said, business is social conscious. How do they perceive that?
Yeah, that's a great question, Virginijus. You know, when I started 10 years ago, especially our executive MBA students would look at me as if I was a little bit crazy. Now it's no longer the case. I've become the mainstream person. So it really has changed. And we do have students, actually they're much more conscious, I feel, you know, this age group. And they are also aware of many of the opportunities in environmental and sustainability careers. So they are actually actively looking in this area. And I think our school also has set up a center, for example, a new institute, which will be coming up soon. And I didn't mention it because it's still in the works, but we are going to have an institute for green finance, for example. And, you know, Singapore is a big financial center. So our students are definitely interested in things like that. Yeah, so they actually see that there's an alignment between being sustainable and yet being able to make a living. Yeah, sorry, I realized I'm still not on, you know, I'm not able to do it. Yeah, sorry, let me try while you talk. Thank you.
Okay.
That's our students, it depends from the level. If we are talking about the bachelors, you know, they are from the Gen Z. It means they are more care about the global context, SDG goals. They are familiar with this. And for instance, we have a charity club that students run themselves, or I mentioned it in my presentation. We have the service learning classes, and all our students should participate on this class. And we have the more than 50,000 volunteer work done by the students. They're really excited to be the part of these activities. Also, if we will talk about the MBA students, situation a little bit different. That we see that the big company, corporate, the corporation, they're in Kazakhstan, they are starting thinking about how to change the business according the SDGs goals, the SDGs. They are thinking about but I couldn't say they are really maybe they're happy to do it, or but they see the benefits from the company positioning them as a sustainable company which are trying to focus on these environmental issues, ecology issues. That's for MBA. It's maybe in Kazakhstan we are in the beginning of this way.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gulnara. And our time is going to end, but just to finalize from my side, and if some questions would appear, I would still give a chance, you know, to ask. But for both of you, for Gulnara and for Audrey, you went a very long way, you know, trying to implementing, you know, the combining this environmental sustainability, social responsibility. So if you would suggest something to others based on your lessons learned, one thing, what would you say it is important to take into account, trying to combine this social responsibility, environmental sustainability into the programs, into the university policy? So one thing, what would you suggest for others? What they need to be either careful of or do something, you know, any particular idea for suggestion?
Okay. Gulnara, would you like to go first?
No, you can go first.
Okay. So I'm from Singapore. We are very competitive. So what we found useful is to build in an element of competition, right? So our business school is very conscious of rankings and so on. And we see that, for example, these things are taken into account, for example, in the Financial Times rankings. It's also good to be included in the blue, gray pinstripes index. So we know that it's not just good for the school in terms of branding, it's also good for the country and good for everyone, right? So we try to align the objectives very much. But having an element of competition, I feel, really helps.
Super. I like that suggestion very well. Aligning together, the goals, which could be, like Gulnara mentioned before, win-win-win for everyone. So
yes, I can just the short comments make sure that the international best practice is adopted in the local context. Always look for the impact for any activity, what you do every day. It's not you are doing that's big project, big goals. It's everyday behavior. It's also important to show that you are really believe for that environmental ecology issues.
Walking your talk in
Yes.
the way, you really need to show the example. Thank you very much for both of you, dear Gulnara, dear Audrey. Brilliant presentation, fantastic answers, and I would be glad, to talk with you for another hour, but I think the program do not allow us, and the next session is going to start immediately. So thank you very much. I appreciate
that. Thank you
that.
so much.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Virginijus. Thank you very much, Dr. Gulnara KURENKEYEVA and Professor Audrey CHIA. Thank you very much for your wonderful presentations. If, dear participants, if you wish to continue to discuss about this topic, you can meet the avatars of our great speakers in the 3D world. And now we'll move on.
Okay.